finally took the high. Was about time. What's up, YouTube? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Let's go over the charts and do some Elliott Wave counting while also chatting and Q&A till Formula 1 starts in about 45 minutes. Ooh, we finally took the high. It was about time. It was about time. It was also just a matter of time, really, that we took the high. So these probabilities have now played out. Locally, we were looking for the tops to be taken for a while already, and they finally got taken. So we had this move to the upside, wicking the highs, and that is exactly what we were looking for. At least taking the highs. What happens after, we'll wait and see, right? So now, of course, we have a little bit of price action here. After we took the high, moved to the downside, bless you, and also took this low here. But we're going to analyze the chart. So how are you doing? Welcome, Coffeeholic. Never been that early. It's also Sunday, so usually on a Sunday, you know, people do stuff with friends, family, other things, you know, especially during the day. So generally the viewership on Sunday is a lot lower, right? On average nowadays, during the week, we have about 150, 200, 250 people watching. But on a Sunday, it's below 100 is not surprising. Anything around 50, like 100 eventually, once we start the stream, and after like 10, 20 minutes, you know, it's typical Sunday stuff, but that's good. People also should take some time off the charts and do some things with friends and family. Omar, welcome. Mark, good to have you here. Good to have you here. I can imagine the hoodie is quite warm, by the way, with the weather that we have at the moment. CryptoSare, welcome. Ghost, maybe Dave Forsell, maybe, right? Stick to your plan. Greg, how are you doing? Good morning from Boston, USA. Good to have you here. From the other side of the world, that is, the Netherlands, how that goes from France. You can also talk without capital letters, by the way. If you continue writing in capital, your ass flies out actually really quick. So would be good to see normal letters. No one has to write in capital. Dimuth, good to have you here. Jen, welcome as well. Could you look? It's a Bitcoin stream today. So we're going to observe the price action here. I, of course, am thinking about doing either a weekly or bi-weekly altcoin stream. So that is something I'm keeping an eye on. Just woke up, didn't sleep all night. Hope today is going to be a good day as the weekly candle will close. It will indeed. Might be fun to actually go to the monthly chart and then zoom in. Not really Elliott Wave counting on the monthly, but at least checking it out. Paolo, welcome. Good to have you here from Portugal. Leon, welcome. Sri Lanka. Okay, Ghost, your ass is out already. This is just absolutely bullshit. You can go out. Bye. So... very nice. That is how I like to start my my live streams. I give one warning: if not respected, you're out. Very simple. So he's not hidden from the channel. He can come back tomorrow, and if he doesn't behave tomorrow, I'll just hide him forever. So cool. Very, very nice. What's up, River and Toys? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, so let's cover the chart, shall we? Now, with regards to the Elliott Wave analysis, look, nothing changed compared to this morning, except for the fact we took the high. So that is the new stuff, right? We actually took the high. Finally, it was about time that we took that high as well. So I like to therefore start on the lower time frame, and we can always then zoom out afterwards, going to chatting and Q&A. Matty JP, how you doing? Good to have you here. Good to have you here. So let's start. We're 10 minutes in. Beautiful. Okay, so I actually... one second. I can't just jump into the 50-minute without at least giving context on the 1 hour time frame. So I need to start on the 1 hour first. Okay, so there were two impulsive scenarios that we were keeping an eye on. In both cases, we were looking for the highs to be taken sooner or later, and this has now happened, and that is very nice. So therefore, this might be already an ended Y here, ending a wave 4. The invalidation can go. And then the question is, could this be the end of your wave 5? There is potential, right? There is potential. That would be your bearish scenario. No? So in this case, you have your there and then you're there. That would be your bearish. Let me quickly do actually some analysis myself as things have changed. So, and here you then prefer to look for a flat structure and then another move to the upside. Little bit of live analysis now. As price move towards the upside here, right? If we are looking for a channel A, B, C, D, or a triangle A, B, C, D, E finishing here, then in that case 1, 2, 3 we want to see continuation in a 4 and a 5. We never got a 4 and a 5. We retraced too deep for a wave 4, invalidating an impulse that starts here, and starting an impulse here was quickly invalidated because price took the low. So that increased the probabilities, therefore, to move towards the downside and sooner or later move below this low again, which is what we're doing right now. So higher probability to look for a bit of a move towards the downside after the highs got taken. So I always like to observe the reaction and waiting for these highs to be taken, wick the highs, immediately move down, move below this low, invalidating an impulse to the upside here, and here we already had an invalidation for an impulse, making it very difficult to be bullish with this wick towards the upside, looking for higher instead. Probabilities increase to move towards the downside. But then in the general context, the question is how far? So that is what we're going to talk about. Okay, I am going to start on the 4-hour time frame. I will give a quick summary, and then we're going to continue to look at the lower time frame. So, of course, the summary that I will give is relatively the same info as the past 2 videos, live stream and video, because on these time frames, not too much has changed, but it's good to keep an eye on the perspective, right? So it's not an altcoin stream, guys. Okay, let's start. We have 3 daily scenarios. Then we're going to zoom into the lower time frames. Just a very quick summary of the daily scenarios that I mentioned in the past few days, and then we go to the lower time frames. But it's good to know the context, right? Have a higher time frame perspective. WXY over here, looking for an expanding flat A, B, C. Wave C pretty much always ends after wave A, right? That's what you want to see in an expanding flat at least, which is something that we have done. So now that price took the local high, right? I have to also toggle on this. So the common target area for your X is actually the 382 to the 886, but because we already passed the 382, I then remove it from the chart. So in a WXY, sideways, a 3-wave double combo, you look for continuation of the trend, but first another move to the downside. Inside wave X, we have an expanding flat, common target area in yellow on the chart. Preferably your wave C ends before the 2-fib time, taken from the start of A to the end of B. A plus B compared to wave C. Wave C preferably is not twice the length of A plus B. If it is, it significantly reduces probabilities that you're looking for a wave C to the upside in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually a wave 5 to the upside. 2-fib time, 25th of May. After X, we want to see a Y to the downside, either a zigzag, a flat, or a triangle. Now that being said, the second scenario is a zigzag, A, B, C. Wave A here is a contracting diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave structure, looking for a 3-wave move to the upside in a wave B in a zigzag. 5-wave structure in A, 3-wave B, a 5-wave move to the upside in C. Common target for your wave C in yellow, 69K to 71.3K, right? Trend-based fib from the low to the high of A to the low of B. Common target for B, golden pocket 886, taken from the high to the low of A. After B, we also look for a deeper retracement to the downside in a wave C, moving below wave A. Side note that in a WXY, wave Y does not have to move below the low over here, right? It's not a requirement for a wave Y, while for a zigzag ABC, it is. Small detail. For the bullish scenario, 1212, continuation to the upside. Now here we are looking for a retracement to the downside in a wave 2 that is corrective. And this is the biggest difference and something that you'll have to pay attention to compared to the other two more bearish scenarios is the retracement to the downside. Because based on the local price action to the upside, we are looking for a 5-wave impulsive structure to finish relatively soon. Meaning we're looking for a bit of a retracement to the downside eventually, and in a wave 2 you want this to be corrective. Any structure except a triangle in a wave 2. While in the bearish ABC scenario, you're looking for an impulse to the downside, a stronger move, right? Deep retracement, moving all the way below 56K. So you want to start with an impulse and not corrective structures. And in a WXY, even with a wave Y preferably, you also start with at least an impulsive structure looking for lower prices. So that is something we're going to keep an eye on, that if price finally retraces, what structure is it forming, because it has an impact on the probabilities for the bullish 1212 scenario as well as the bearish scenarios where we look for lower prices before continuation to the upside. Invalidation for the bullish scenario moving below is 60.1K. That then brings us to the more lower time frames. And here we have an unfinished impulse, right? We have our wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for a 4 and another 5 towards the upside, towards that weekly naked point of control at 69.1K. Very interesting. Common target area for your 4 is the 0.236 to the 0.5, taken from the low of 2 to the high of your wave 3, 65.9K to 64.1K. The 0.618 at 63.3K is an invalidation for a wave 4. After 4, we look for price to move to the upside in a wave 5. Preferably hitting that weekly naked point of control, that would be nice. We also didn't hit the bigger resistance area that we actually have just above us, 68.1 to 69.2K. So that's quite interesting. And then we have the potentially finished impulse here. I'm not yet sure. Let me explain. Here we have a wave 1 instead of a double 1-2 here. This is now a single wave 1. Double 1-2 does work a little bit better, not gonna lie, on the lower time frame. 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. The scenario I've just shown, compared, like the two impulses compared, this one looks better on the lower time frame because of this structure, and I will explain it in a second after I cover this scenario here. So here we have a 1, 2, 3, sideways 4, 5. Now, something that I think is very interesting is if we are looking for wave WXY in a sideways double combo inside wave 4. So we have a flat, a zigzag structure, and then a potential finished triangle for a wave Y. Then your wave Y, take a trend-based SIP from the high to the low to the high here. Let me also, by the way, put this back on the chart. WX. So if you're looking for a triangle here, then interestingly, wave Y never hit the 0.618. Flat, zigzag family structure, A, B, C, D, E, and up. Interesting, because a minimum target for a wave Y is the 0.618. It is incredibly rare to see a wave Y not at least hit the 0.618 as a bare minimum. We didn't hit it. Makes you think if the triangle here is the right scenario compared to possibly having another flat in a wave Y. I'm quickly scrolling here because this is something that I also mentioned earlier today here in silver, the 0.618. Usually a minimum target for wave Y. Interesting. Patience. Patience, patience. We didn't hit the 0.618, which is sitting at 66.1K. Now that by itself, together with the other impulse, where you expect a deeper retracement, as well as in this impulsive structure where your wave 4, right, the 0.618 hasn't been touched for a WXY, increases the probabilities to at least visit the 0.618, if not go deeper for the other wave 4. So let me say this bloop differently. The fact your wave Y did not hit the 0.618 decreases the probabilities that this here was a triangle. This wick up is your 5. Just because for a WXY, you actually want the 0.618 to be hit. Meaning if price now moves down, the probabilities remain higher in wave 4 price action, where then we look for still a 5 to the upside towards the weekly naked point of control. However, on the short term, it would be good to see at least the 0.618 hit here on the chart, or go deeper to 65.9 and hit this target area for your wave 4. So wave 4s tend to be complex structures, right? Most commonly are complex structures. In both of these scenarios, preferably your high is not yet in. And you're looking at a wave 4 retracement to come, after which we then still look for another 5 towards the upside. There's always a chance that your high of 5 here is in and that you're finished and you look for a deeper retracement to the downside, right? Like on the 4-hour time frame, this over here is then either your wave C, your second wave 1, right? Nice one, Koen. Or your X. However, if it's an X, one second. No, if it's a too messy. In this scenario, for an ABC, if your C is already finished here, it's too shallow. It has to move higher to the common target area for your C. So that would increase the probabilities for either a double 1-2 or a wave X. Decreases probabilities. If you don't move higher to at least 69.1K, it decreases probabilities for an ABC zigzag. I got to refresh the chart because unfortunately my Ctrl Z is not actually working on TradingView. If I press Ctrl Z, it does something random on the chart, which you may have noticed just now. There we go. Sorry for the alarm. Okay. So that is pretty much what we're looking for. So probabilities locally remain higher for the price action that we have to be wave 4 price action, where it would be good to see price at least move down to the 0.618, taken from the high here to the low, the high to the low, to then the high here at 66.2K, potentially deeper, looking for this wave 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? We get our finished 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Weekly naked point of control resistance, look for price to move towards the downside, have a finished C or a finished wave 1 here, right? And then we get a bigger retracement, and depending on the structure of the retracement, we then see what kind of higher time frame probabilities or scenarios are going to have the highest probability. So that is it, pretty much. That is what we're looking for at the moment. So probabilities on a 4-hour time frame remain exactly the same as the past few days. Is very much depends on the local price action. We're still looking for on the 4-hour a bigger retracement to come. So that is on the 4-hour either wave X and a retracement, either a wave B or a retracement, or a second wave 1 and a retracement. So in all cases, we're looking for this impulsive structure to finish and get a retracement to the downside. And then the retracement will give us all the information we need for potential wave 2, continuation up or lower prices. That's something we'll figure out once we actually get the retracement, right? Step by step. Locally, on a 15-minute time frame or 1-hour time frame, the probabilities are higher to already see a bit of a retracement at the moment, either in this wave 4, minimum target would be 65.9, or a more sideways wave 4, WX, and then another wave Y, where you at least want 66.1k hit, taking this low, finish 4, and then move up. So probabilities at the moment remain higher that this high is not yet your wave 5. But we do expect a local retracement to the downside. And then we look for proof of support at the areas of support as well to the downside. So yeah. Thinking about it, this would be a real, I mean, it leads to the same conclusion. If that is the end of your 4, flat X zigzag, but you still didn't hit the 0.618 for your wave 4, unfortunately. So it's still not great probabilities, but arguably your bullish scenario. It's already an expanding structure now. 1 second here. Yeah, expanding diagonals are rare and never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. So that's not great. Just looking for a local bullish scenario after I communicated probabilities. See if we can actually find something. So as mentioned earlier, after price moved up, you wanted to see at least a 4 and a 5. 4 retraced too deep, lowers the probabilities or invalidates a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then price also took this low, invalidating a 1, 2 for then a wave 3 to the upside. Increasing probabilities to move towards the downside, in other words, which is what we got going on now. And yeah, based on the probabilities, we look for a bit of a deeper retracement, either directly to the downside, a bit of a deeper retracement, or range and move deeper later. So personally, my mindset, something that I've communicated in Discord as well, is locally, I'm very patient. I am still interested in potential long setups if they would present themselves and I feel confident enough, even though we are already, and that's the risk, we are already quite high and we're looking for a structure to end. And wave 4-5 price action can be very tricky. 4-5 type of price action can be very complex. So on a 4-hour time frame, I start to become more interested to look for shorts, but I need low time frame confirmations in that case. And it would be nice if it actually hits the resistance above. But yeah, more locally, looking for, at the moment probabilities are higher to look for another 4 and then eventually still one more high in a 5 to the upside. All right. And that means we got to be looking for proof of support in that area. There's always the potential this is the end of a 5, but I don't like it to be the end of a 5. So not from an Elliott Wave point of view at the moment. Yo, if you want signals, you got to go to Moon Boys. This is not a signal channel. This is an educational Elliott Wave channel. You need your plan, your strategy. I am always happy to share thoughts, right, about setups and Elliott Wave trades. But you gotta have your own setups, right? FYI, Koen's setups, Koen's trades, right? I share stuff in here. And in the setups, I explain why a potential setup is interesting. I do not say if I take it or not, because I'm not in a signal service. I have my own reasons to enter or not enter, but I explain why a potential setup from an Elliott Wave point of view is interesting. And in the Koens Trades channel, I share in hindsight like what then happened, right, with the ones that I took. So yeah. The 19th of May FIP time is communicated in the morning update, and here it is, your 19th of May 302. So it's your wave B. Minimum target for wave B, which is today, which would be valid. So now you're in the time frame for a potential B. Okay, well let me actually put this down quick here. So Q&A. There we go. Okay, where were we? What's up, Obil, Madavada? Probabilities, exactly, Adam, exactly. And they were higher to take the high, and now we took the high, so then we observed the reaction. Huh? Jared, how you doing? Bettina, welcome. Good to have you here. River and Toys, welcome. Ooh, now that's the name. I'll just call you Pax. Pax, welcome. Ren Buffin, good morning. Good to have you here. Technically, in the local Finnish triangle scenario, wave 4 would also end above the 3, right? So, which would be interesting. Yes, I agree. So it's no problem for a wave X. It's no problem for a wave X to go above the high of your 3. So if you, right, 3, and then you look for a 4. This is, by the way, a Y. 1 second. Nice writing. And then you have your 4. So it's no problem for X to move above 3, right? You can have a W, X, and then a Y, but you should expect a sideways structure. But your wave Y is so shallow. And then indeed your Y triangle ends above 3, which, like you say, I 100% agree, Mudavada, is interesting. And not really something we like to see. The wave Y is very, very shallow in that case, yeah. Would prefer in that case to have another 4, right? And wave 4s of a higher degree do like to retrace to a wave 4 of a lower degree, at least the price section of a lower degree wave 4, which would be the box here, right? From the high, officially actually, I should take this one. And then inside this area, we have 2 point of controls that are areas of interest for me. Other than that, we have a daily as well at 65.2. There's actually a nice confluence with the point of control of this structure. So that is still quite deep. So your first area of support would be 66.1, and then your second is 65.2, which is also inside the target area here of your wave 4. The target area of your bigger, higher degree wave 4 in blue. I don't really like to see price move below here. That would decrease probabilities that you're still in a wave 4 for another 5 up. Altcoin streams or alts are for specific altcoin streams. I'll probably might go into doing that once a week. Shortly cover Bitcoin, then go into alts for either the Saturday or the Sunday. I haven't made that decision yet, but definitely something I'm looking for because I get a lot of questions about alts. Yeah, so the bearer on a high time frame, which now is more likely, the WXY or the ABC? So I'm inclined to say the WXY. And that is mainly because the diagonal in your ABC, your wave 3, is longer than your wave 1. So this is then your WXY looking for A, B, C. The thing is, you don't want C to end at the 2. It needs to end before. So if you hit the 2, ABC. This would be my alternative. And that's just because of the diagonal in wave A, where your 3 is longer in price and time than your wave 1. And the fact that it is longer in price mainly does decrease the probabilities for a diagonal. While in the WXY, you count a regular flat here in a W. And then you have your expanding flat. So this structure is cleaner in a W compared to an A. So that is why I would look for the expanding flat. However, it needs to end before the 25th of May. Next week, Saturday. So pretty much by next week, we need a finished impulse to the upside here. Or during next week, like. Should be an interesting week. Let me actually see. Do we have some additional potential volatility with regards to news? Oh, Powell had to speak today. This guy, such a speaker. 9:30. What happened on 9:30? Okay, not much. Wednesday, we have some info as well, but those are minutes. Usually that's like more summary of a meeting, no? And then Friday, some stuff going on as well. And that's it for the week. Maria Elena, welcome. Good to have you here. Where can I learn Fibonacci time? Fibonacci time. I have great sources to learn Elliott Waves, which include Fibonacci in the description, but Fibonacci time specifically, I have never found a source that I can recommend about Fibonacci time. It's just not really spoken about a lot. However, the more you learn Elliott Waves, the better you'll know time. Because if you do think about Elliott Waves, the relationship is important. And, one second. And ratio analysis is part of Elliott Waves, alternation as well, and also Fibonacci time. Now, in the Gold membership, I have a video where I specifically go into Fib time for each separate scenario. But if you do want to read a little bit more about Fibonacci time, I don't have any websites where you can read it, really. But at least the book, Elliott Wave Principle, Frost and Prechter, make sure to get the newer editions. You do have several pages and chapters that talk about time. First of all, you have here chapter 2, right? Guideline of wave formation, but alternation is time. Wave equality is time as well. The right look is also time. And if you then go to chapter 4, ratio analysis and Fibonacci time sequences, they talk a little bit more about time. The problem is they don't really talk about common, rare, what should be the Fib time relationship between the two. The name of it's in the description, the book as well. Elliott Wave Principle, Frost and Prechter. Link is down below for you guys. But they don't really talk about in a WXY, wave W and wave Y are related by time. Wave X can be very long and short. Common relationship between W and Y is the 0.618 to the 1.618. Right? Same in a zigzag, by the way. When you talk about a wave 1 and a wave 2 ends most commonly at least after the 302 Fib time compared to 1, preferably before the 4 Fib time. Right? Because after that, it really decreases probabilities. If you compare 2 and 4, commonly wave 4 is longer than wave 2, right? Rule of alternation as well. So preferably wave 4 ends after the 1-to-1 of wave 2, Fib time related, but ends before the 5 Fib time compared to wave 2, because else your structure is getting too long, which then again is part of ratio analysis and the right look. So the moment the structure gets too long, the look is wrong, right? The ratio between the waves is incorrect. Now, something that you can do, and you don't really necessarily need Fib time, is if you think about the structure of an impulse to the upside and you're doubting, Let me go to a 1 hour time frame. Then what you can do is just take the what's this? The polyline, right? It's here on the left, polyline. So you take the polyline, and what you're gonna do is just connect the polyline to potential highs of lows of your count, right? So you're gonna be looking for, and then you, oops, lol. Let me do it with the latest impulse. So in for example, a double 1, 2, you do this, that, and then that, and that. And then, of course, it looks unfinished because we're counting a double 1, 2 at the low at the moment in this specific example. But you can get a good idea of the shape of your wave 4 compared to your wave 2s. A line chart might also help. So all the candles can create a lot of noise. Maybe I have to pick a better, another example that works a bit better. I mean, this one is very clear, no? Like impulse to the downside. Let me pick another one. If you use the polyline, right? You have your double 1, 2 here. 3, and then you have 4, 5, 4, and then another 5, right? Something like this. So without even looking at fib time, you can also do this and then remove the chart, just hide the chart, and just look at the line and be like, yo, does this look correct? Is wave 4 too short? Is wave 4 too long? Because sometimes you'll try and count a structure which just doesn't work because it's too long, for example. So I don't want to look and spend time on finding an example, but what I mean is you have people that do this and they have their 1, 2, and then they have their 3, and then their 4 is literally like this, and then 5. Does this look like an impulse? You know what I mean? No, it doesn't, because this structure is too long. Now, if you then also compare a fib time, you take it from the start to the end of your wave 2, right? And then to the high of your wave 3. Oh, damn, you know, it passed the 6 fib time. It really reduces probabilities. This structure is related to this structure. Higher probability, this is a complete new structure. Increasing probabilities, this is a 3-wave move, right? So yeah, you can use fib time, but a trick you can use is the polyline as well, where you just connect the highs and the lows of an impulsive structure that you count, and then you compare the ratio. What part in the trading economics did you use to find the impact on the market? I only, good question. I only look at the time. That's it. Only the date and the time. I don't need any. So I don't even know who Powell is. Never saw a picture of the guy. FOMC minutes, I got no idea. FOMC, I believe, is America. They do the financial stuff. I have no idea. I have no idea what news it is. I only know it's US, because you know that's apparently the market that has that can create some volatility. I only look at the date and the time, and I just want to know the date and the time because I can expect some volatility to come in potentially around these hours, so I know I have to manage my trades well. So I only use it to expect potential volatility on the chart. Fox, the always sarcastic. What's up, Mateus? How are you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah, so I think Prechter himself was also on the S&P. I think he was looking for this without the high being taken. Of course, the high got taken, but now we are moving sideways. Let's go to a monthly time frame. It's not really a time frame I'm at too often. No, I do have it here. Okay. I mean, on a monthly time frame, still doesn't look bad from an impulsive perspective, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simplistic way of counting. You can also go to, of course, to the higher time frames like a monthly chart, where things become a bit easier, even though the lower time frames are very important. Gives you a bit more detail. So for that count, by the way, with this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, preferably you do make another low or extend this corrective structure sideways in the longer amount of time. I've covered that once and I gotta figure out, this one, yeah. Because the low has been made before the 382, preferably you at least end after the 382. So in a arguably bearish / still bullish scenario, 1, 2, 3 deeper retracement in 4 and 5 up, that's then the end and you correct. You still either make another low or continue the correction, WXY, and then go up for your 5. So it is a scenario I have in my folders. So yeah. Hey, it's time for me to go. If I quickly summarize the probabilities. On a 4-hour time frame, probabilities are neutral. We're still looking for 112, ABC, and the wave X, of course, so the bigger B to end or the bigger X to end. More locally on the lower time frames, we wigged the high here, something that we were looking for as well, which is very, very nice. Probabilities remain at the moment higher, that we are in wave 4 price action and look for another move to the upside in a wave 5. However, short term, probabilities are higher to see a retracement to the downside. Locally, it's difficult to count anything bullish really. And if we are looking for a wave 4, right, if it's as explained in the analysis, WX and then a wave Y triangle, well, your wave Y missed out on hitting the 0.618. It's not really what we like to see. So there's the potential for a flat to at least hit the 0.618 at about 66.1K, or move down in a deeper wave 4, right? Common target area here, find support and then move up in your wave 5. Proof of support, as always, is going to be necessary, and we got to wait and see what the local price action is going to give us. No, areas of support inside this box is the two point of controls. Then range point of controls, 66.1 and 65.2K. So yeah, it's time for me to fly. It is Sunday after all. I actually made a mistake with the family stuff because the family activity is tomorrow. We go bowling with the whole family. It's the yearly bowling competition of the family. No, it's my grandma's birthday as well soon, so we go bowling with the whole family. So and it's tomorrow apparently, not today. I forgot, but not like forgot the activity. I thought it was today, but it is tomorrow. I should say it nicely. I'll never forget my grandma's birthday. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. And now it's time for some Formula One and chilling. Tonight, of course, another normal update video. So let's see what price is going to do the rest of the day on Sunday. And yeah, I look forward to next week on the chart. It would be good to see a top made next week. Making tops on Sundays is not really something I enjoy as well. Would be nice to make it on I don't know, somewhere next week, finish the impulse up and then get the start of a bigger retracement to the downside. Would be interesting. So yeah, it's a pleasure, guys. Thanks for being here. Also, your Sunday, make sure you spend some time with friends, family, do some activities that you enjoy. And I will catch you with a normal update video later, right? So Central European time zone tonight. And tomorrow we'll probably be a live stream, but very early, probably around noon Central European time, because of the bowling activity with the family later. So yeah, that being said, enjoy your Sunday, and I'm going to catch you at the next one.